This is our presentation about configuration management by Bobby Sloss, Colleen, and Devyn Tucker. So, what is configuration management? Configuration management is a process for establishing and upholding the consistency of a product's performance, evaluating potential changes and implementing them, all while keeping track of the changes that are being made to the system. There are many main goals to the configuration management process, but the most important ones are to correct flaws, maximize performance, extend system life, and minimize cost. The configuration management process enables the organized management of systems and their changes. A method for making changes is established and followed. Potential changes are assessed before implementation, and the implemented changes are assessed after implementation. Throughout the lifecycle of a system, the changes that have been made need to be documented in an organized fashion. Configuration management will help the UNFO prevent colossal technical issues, avoid employee confusion, avoid consumer complaints, but instead increase customer satisfaction, minimize costs to maximize profits. Configuration management will, for the users, however, let customers know that their opinions matter, guarantee the support of systems, and make the users aware of changes.
Keeping the configuration management in mind, there are many practices, but some of the best practices are as follows. Number 1, create a plan. This is critical because you got to set a realistic timeline to start with the basics. If you try to do too much, the program will never go off the ground. 2, establish a repository. Organizations must have a repository for storing accurate configuration information. Third one, develop a process. Follow a defined process to populate the configuration management databases, which means to create a logical process such as populate all the physical infrastructure, create relationships for the physical infrastructure, commercial off-the-shelf software, including relationships, then populate businesses and custom applications. The fourth step is to define the right configuration items, otherwise known as CIs. There are literally thousands of CIs that you could track, but trying to track them all would be a waste of your time and resources. Instead, look at each layer of your IT infrastructure, such as applications, operating systems, hardware, and services, to determine the most appropriate set of CIs and relationships to track and monitor. The fifth and final step is slow down. Beware of falling down the slippery slope of thinking configuration management and the configuration management database are things that must be fully populated from the beginning. Take time to follow the simple steps of locating the sources of data, taking them under management control, and creating a system for knowing what is where and populating your configuration management databases as you go.
So who creates the test plans in this whole process? It's the development team, which is also us, that does that, and we use the application software to assist our uses. So the stage that these plans are executed in is the creating the standards over all of the other stages. Who performs the production deployments? The developer uses the software applications equipment to produce the deployments at specific times, and there are many software applications available such as EOS, EOL, Bazaar NG, and Git, as well as a lot of others. So who performs the post-production testing and monitoring? Well, it all starts at the visitor right in the center because they usually find all of the bugs first. Then it goes to the owner or the developer, and they analyze the problems, and then they give everything else to the administrators, managers, and the developers again to test and modify any changes necessary and upload that within due time. So this concludes our configuration management presentation.